What's up? What's up? What's up? This your man Dre Mac. You already know we doing a little G thing in here. Just vibe with me for a moment. Today we're gonna be talking about Loki season 2, episode 6. And of course, you know what I'm saying? You know how we do it around here. You know. Let me just turn this down just a little bit. Even this is in my ear. Even though it's my jamming. We're going to talk about the episode today. We're going to do a reaction review. I am going to go over it with you. We're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about it. We're going to react. And of course, I skip in 10-second intervals. So when I go through the actual show, just know that I'm going to skip time. Did say that on purpose. This is just the truth. But I'm going to skip certain things or whatever because we're getting straight to the nitty gritty, straight to the meat and potatoes. You know what I mean? So if you haven't seen Loki, spoilers ahead. Don't watch this video. Go. Bye. Go. Because you won't be coming back to me, but like, man, I went to the Dre Mac show and they were spoiling stuff. Yeah, I spoiled it. I said it. So I'm going to talk about that today, but hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. I am in the process. I'm actually finishing up the non-spoiler review for the Marvel. So I just rendering that video now. So that video will go up later on. What's up, Groovy Fade? What is up? What is good? So yeah, I'm rendering that video right now, getting that ready so I can be able to drop it later on after I'm done with this live. That non-spoiler review is just my thoughts. It's just my thoughts. I don't go into any plots, any details. I don't go into any of that. All the whole breakdown stuff. I didn't do any of that. So don't worry about it. Non-spoiler. So anyway, hope you guys are good. Hope you guys are healthy. Again, announcement. Just a little announcement. Memberships are now open. I cut all the advanced tiers just to have one tier to be a member. All it costs is $3 a month to feed a small Dre Mac child. But $3 a month, $2.99 a month, you can be a part of the crew. When you're a part of the crew, we got members only chats. We can get into certain things. You get to know me a little better, you know what I mean? Because it's just us, we kicking it, you know what I mean? It's not for everybody else, so you know what I mean? So if you want to be a member of the crew, or if you watch this on replay, you want to be a member of the crew, all you got to do is hit the membership, you know what I'm saying, be a part of the crew, and there you go, you know what I mean? You're a part of the crew. But again, hopefully you guys are happy, hope you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gant. You already know we about to get into it. The real question is, all right. You're gonna learn today. Who would have thought if I would have asked you, let's say even 10 years ago, that Loki would be the standout of even Marvel? Would you have believed that? Like, Tom Hiddleston's character has came a long way, and again, you know, even this particular version of Loki is still not our version of the main version of Loki is gone. He got his neck snap. Remember Thanos neck snap? Got the time stone, squish. Let me put that on my hand, baby. Pow. You know what I mean? That's what happened. You know, we can't forget about that. You know what I mean? So this variant version of Loki has went through all the growth that the original Loki could have went through. But now we see, because he was just an adjacent version. Let me get to what the adjacent version. He was an adjacent version of the original Loki, who just took he was a version who took the time stone. You know what I'm saying? Ended up in the TVA. He was still the same Loki, but he just took the time stone and then caused, a Nexus event that now he's a variant version of himself. And this particular variant version had to go through a lot of character growth. And by the end of this season, I was like, wow, who would have thunk? Oh, is this not plugged up? No, it's not plugged up. Who would have thunk 10 years ago, or when the Avengers verse dropped, which was what, 2012? The 2012 Avengers movie, that Loki, out of anybody, not Falcon, not Natasha, Loki would be the standout. I'm telling you, y'all. This is how good the show was. Hold on. To plug my phone up. But yeah, he was a standout. In this show has proven that whole Variety article, Marvel's dead. Marvel done died. They ain't even there no more. They dead. They gone. And they picking up the pieces. The Marvel is never going to die when you have perfect storytelling like this. Perfect storytelling. And it comes full circle, or a bars. You know what I'm saying? People are going to start using that in the bars. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? It's bars or a bars. I come full circle. You know what I mean? I started from the bottom, now I'm here, now I'm back, and I come full circle, or a board. I'm back. It's infinity when I loop. Y'all can even trip, because Dre Mac coming through and never slip. Time slip, dip it. I ain't coming to hear a rap. I came here to talk about Loki. Let's get into it. I ain't came here to be a rapper. Yeah, because I'm not against rap. I'm not against rappers. But I am against those thugs. So let's get into it. You know what we do. And have you guys went out? Is anybody, matter of fact, in the chat, make sure y'all chatting with me. Is anybody gonna go see the Marvels? Because the Marvels was good, y'all. I'm sorry, the Marvels was good. I had fun. I enjoyed that. I had so much fun in that movie, boy. Post-credit scene, though. That post-credit scene, y'all. I'm telling you. That post-credit scene. Jesus Christ. Man. But anyway, let's get into it. So let's get into Loki. Episode 6. This is called Glorious Purpose. And remember, that was his title line when they first met. I'm burning with glorious purpose. What up, Andre Ware? What is up? Andre Ware, not Houston's own Andre Ware, but Andre Ware is definitely the Andre Ware I need, not the Andre Ware that I don't need. Yeah, it's a hit. It's a hit piece. It's a hit piece. Matter of fact, I was watching New Rockstars, and they were talking about Eric Voss was talking about the Marvels, and he even said, or he hinted to that article is a bullshit fluff piece to get people, to either not like the Marvel. And I like I said in my Jonathan Majors video when I talked about Variety, that Variety article had more to do with Jonathan Majors than it did with Marvel. Marvel was sprinkled into that, but because they didn't do the right thing, quote unquote, by firing Jonathan Majors after he was arrested for alleged domestic assault, they went after them. Now, of course, I'm not going to say the movies wasn't good. There were some movies that was good. Some movies was annoying as fuck. It is what it is. Was annoying. Like, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, dude, is this ever going to end? Or why does it keep doing this gag? Or why is Korg still talking? Now, I don't want to hear Taika Waititi's voice as man in a movie. I came to see Thor. Now I didn't come to see him. Yet he made him more a part of the movie than he should have been. But that's just a gripe. But so I'm not gonna act like there wasn't any duds. or there wasn't any ones that was, they were cool, but what up, Kata? What up, what up, what up, Kata? How y'all doing today? Hopefully y'all doing well. My the people that normally, I don't be on here because it's Veterans Day. Shout out to all my veterans. I would have been um I'm off today. You know what I'm saying? I'm off today for Veterans Day. Shout out to all my veterans, especially the ones that work for the UAW 249. Shout out to all of y'all. But anyway, but so the variety piece did have some merit, but it's one thing because I use it as a title, like, oh man, Marvel is fucked if they use Jonathan Majors. Are they really? And this show actually proves it. What's up, Gray? Gray is in the house. What up, Gray? Might add my first admin. So let's get into this, because now they started with the Marvel Studios backwards. Like, we're literally going back in time. Back in time. Doom, 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 doom. I mean, when I tell you this is probably one of the best time travel stories I've ever watched, it is. Now, this is the temporal loom. This is a backward shot. Now, what I love about this shot, for one, is beautiful. This is probably one of the, like, if you've seen any of my old stuff when She-Hulk and all of that was out, and I complained about the CGI, for one, this looks movie quality. Let's say that. This looks movie quality. For two, doesn't this remind you of the Rainbow Bridge? And another YouTuber pointed out, I was like, what? You know what? It does remind you a little bit of the Rainbow Bridge because of the energy coming off and all of that. Excuse me, I wasn't trying to do that, but I had to get that one out. I had to get that yawn out. But again, this is backwards. This is coming from a backwards angle because, again, where we're looking at is through the view of Loki sending Victor Timely out, you know what I mean, to go become Spaghetti Man. And he's time slipping. He knows how to be able to control his the time slipping. So of course, his whole entire thing was, let me get back to the TVA since I kind of already know what's going to happen. Let me try to save this thing. So he sends Victor out for all time, always. Victor goes out, Spaghetti Man. And Morgan's like, Sylvie, he's gone. I bet he is, because he's Spaghetti Man. Again, they're trying to figure it out, and they're trying to figure out exactly what they could be able to do to stop this event from happening. And be able to have the TVA. Now, one thing that hasn't been pointed out, by a lot of the other YouTubers, that I feel like that the TVA saved this version of Loki because somebody actually cared about it. Somebody actually gave a damn and gave him the attention that he was so desperately searching for. And that person, for real, is Mobius. And we see why, because he's a really good dad. We've seen that in the last episode. Yes, what I mean by really good dad is that, and we'll talk about it here in the scene, but he knows how to be able to talk. I mean, and also he's a salesman, jet ski salesman. So he knows how to talk about certain things, or talk, to get somebody to be able to buy. That's what we call it. Somebody to be able to buy. And you got to be able to have this particular gift to be able to sell people stuff. Ain't nobody going to buy from you if they don't like you, or if you're not charismatic or anything like that, or you don't have the vital information that they're looking for. Not letting them test drive it. So let me just full screen this for a second. All right, so in this scene, excuse me, I had to get something to drink. So he's telling Victor Timely, hey, get in there, do this, hit the green button, turn it, launch it, and get back here as quickly as possible. He's letting them know that, right? So Victor Timely like, cool. And then he ends up like this. And Loki is like, damn it, I gotta do this again. Now, I don't know about y'all, but doesn't this remind you, if you've seen this scene, doesn't this scene remind you of Groundhog's Day? Like, that's what this reminds me of Groundhog's Day. Because he got to continue to do it over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? To the fact where he was like, hey, we need to get Victor out as fast as possible. And I think, what is this, the previous scene? Yeah. Now, look at Miss Minix and Roberta Rensselaer's face. Look at Miss Minix's face. Like, they all look confused. Like, wait, he was like, hey, we need to do this ASAP. We need him as quickly as possible. You can hate me or whatever, but I need him now. And he's, everybody looking shocked. It's, you know what I'm saying? Except for Brad. Brad's not looking too shocked. He's like, what are you doing here? Yeah, and also Doctor Strange. Dormammu, I'm coming to bargain. Actually, when I seen that in the movies, I was rolling because I know that's good on Dormammu's nerves. And I was just reading, Gray, you said that. You made me think about when I was at that time when Doctor Strange came out, I was reading Thanos versus Deadpool and how he just annoys the shit out of people. You know what I'm saying? Just annoying. And that was cracking me up because Doctor Strange just annoying the shit out of him. So he comes down there and because he's been time slipping, he's been going in and out of his body, out of his consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And so he's over there explaining everything to everybody. And they're like, what? They don't get it. They only don't get it. Sylvie starts to look kind of crazy after a while. And of course, this whole scene is reminiscent of Back to the Future. When Doc Brown was showing Marty how he was going to be able to travel back in time. A lot of good time references in here. All right, so he's explaining it to him again. And this gag was funny because it was like, say for instance, I don't know anything about nothing. How long would it take for me to learn something? It was like centuries. And they come back centuries later. Hilarious. And he still couldn't get it. Still couldn't get it. And he's explaining to him how everything is going to work, this and the other. And he's speaking of Obi and Casey. Everybody looking at him like he'd lost his damn mind. He was like, this is where it was like, let's assume I don't know much, but I'm a fast learner and I'm a god. How long was it going? He's going to start from the beginning. At the beginning, he said, we don't have time. And he was really basically asking him like, yo, how much time do I really have? And he was like, centuries. How long would it take? Decades, centuries. And the face that he made, like, are you serious? And he looked at Victor Timely, or he could have been looking at Mobius, but he looked centuries later. That's hilarious. Now that's a gag. That's funny. That means he went and studied science for centuries. Now, mind you, he's at the end of time, so it doesn't even matter. So he's trying to get Victor Timely in there as quickly as possible. He's like, we don't have any time for the jibber jabber. I have no time, fool, for the jibber jabber. And that's where Loki was at. He had no time for the jibber jabber. Hey, I need you to get back in there, get back. That's all I need. Launch it, get back. But again, He Who Remains already had this planned out. He Who Remains is not a dummy. Even though they're not playing up his intelligence, because we still don't know how that tip pad got made or anything. But he could have been out there with some magic space rocks, and that could happen. So again, he's explaining how we can make the loan bigger again. He's going out of his way to save the TVA. And he sent Victor Tomley back out there. So Victor Tomley goes back out here, and you know, Victor Tomley's hilarious. But again, he who remains already knew what was cracking. And if he who remains was him, which a lot of theories was, you know, that he who remains and Victor Tomley was the same person, is no. Just have the same temporal aura. There he's a variant. And that's probably the reason why he was stuck on the sacred timeline, which we didn't get to. We didn't get to the where, what, when, and how. Excuse me. Now Loki is telling him what he was telling himself: be brave. You're so brave. So he goes out there and he's moving. He down there. He down there chucking. All right. So we get down there to the launcher, and he launches it. For some reason, he had a problem with hitting the green button. The green button kept getting stuck. He was like, hit the button. And it kind of reminded me of the gag from Guardians. Guardians 2. Hit the button. Now hit that button. I am Groot. Hit that button. No, it's the wrong button. So hits the button, turns the machine. Finally, it starts to head back. Everything is working. Everybody like, hooray! Victor Tomley did it. Yay! It's like, come on, everybody come back. And he's just shocked. He's like, pumpkins, whatever. You know what I'm saying? At least they didn't use corn, but pumpkins. And he was like, it's working, right? They're like, nope. No matter what you do, this thing is going to explode because there's an infinite amount of worlds out there that's connected to the vine. There's too many, so it won't stain it. It's just a fail safe, and that's what we find out. It's just a fail safe program. He was like, I don't know about you, but they're just off. And he was like, they can't be overloading. What are you talking about? I know what I did. And he did. He had centuries to think about it, but it wasn't that easy. And I'm glad they didn't make it that easy. I love it when a character catches L's. That means they can be humanized. You all have to look at him as like, oh, you know, this is my hero. He never slips, he never falls, he never nothing. No, he does. And you know, Victor Thomas is like, hey, look, this stuff is expanding at an exponential rate. The rings won't even be able to contain it. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan's jump shot can't contain it. So Loki realizes no matter what, he's destined to lose. And this was gonna happen anyway. So he had to go back to in time to go back to where Sylvie was getting ready to kill He Who Remains. It was like, stop. And this was a great recreation of the scene. Actually, it felt like they filmed this at the same time they was filming Loki season 1, because the way that the scene played out was way too perfect for these characters to have did this all over again. I believe that was all done in the first season. This was just in the backbone because they already kind of had an idea of what they wanted to do with Loki. So he has to go round and round, round and round. I get around with Sylvie. Sylvie was whooping this dude's ass, but she don't know that Sylvie doesn't know him. That Sylvie does not know him. And she still was ready to play the blood a chuck out of He Who Remains body. Gray, you said He Who Remains was playing Loki and Sylvie like fiddles. I knew since the finale. Yeah, he was. He didn't care. He cared nothing about them. He cared nothing about. He cared about himself. He's a narcissist. And he lets you know actually how dangerous he is in this episode. And Loki is explaining to him, like, look, if you do this, you're gonna cause more harm than good. And sometimes we have good intentions at the bad time. And in this particular scene, you got all the it's a good intentions in the world, and she's whooping your butt, killing him, whooping your butt, killing him, whooping your butt, killing him, whooping your butt, killing him. And he kept saying, see you soon. Now, was he talking to Sylvie or was he talking to Loki? I think that's the question that has to be asked. When he kept saying see you soon, it kept reminding me of like, well, if you know what's going to happen, do you know one of these two people is going to make it at towards the end of the timeline to be able to run the sacred timeline? Which one is it going to be? And I already knew it was going to be Tom, but he kept time slipping. Now he's time slipping into these events, so he could be able to change these events. But again, when he was going to get Sylvie, it wasn't working. It wasn't working at all. He said, if you want to, you're going to have to kill me. And so they paused her. Literally paused her. That was He Who Remains, used the tip pad and then froze her. Now, mind you, he's been talking to He Who Remains while they go back and forth, round and round and round and round and go. You know what I'm saying? He's been he already know this. And I'm not gonna lie, Jonathan Majors was on his A game in this series, especially He Who Remains. He Who Remains to me is the mix of the Kane. Now, the Kane that we know of, I don't know about that one. But He Who Remains, that's who I'm really afraid of. If I was an MCU, the dude is just unpredictable. I mean, yes, does he come off like a Black Willy Wonka? Yes, he does. But he didn't care about Victor Tom. He started talking about his stutter, all of that. Yeah, he is most definitely bigger in these scenes. Not even gonna hold you. He is bigger in these scenes. But he was like, what you think? That I was just gonna let her kill me and there was no contingency program? Yeah, okay. All right, you must not know my name. My name is Hove. Hold on. So he ended up start freezing time himself. He learned how to do it on a whim. Again, it's not really a whim because he was going back and forth throughout time, through this whole entire time, and he was raised by witches. But He Who Remains was mocking this whole situation. And again, Jonathan Majors was on his A game. Was on his A game. Loved every minute of this. Loved it. And he's explaining to him the temporal loom was a failsafe. Because all he wanted to do was keep the sacred timeline together. And it started when it's overloaded, started depleting all the multiverse timeline, all the branches started to be deleted. He was like, "Oh my god!" And he knew He Who Remains was playing him. He was like, "Now this thing is easy to rebuild." He said, "My variants is already out there. He ain't even tripping." He was like, "All these variants I got, man, they could get replaced, baby." So he doesn't care. And this episode was about 58 minutes long, including, end credit scenes and stuff like that. So he's like, I'm gonna change the equation. He said, but the loom prevents a brutal war. This is where Loki he kind of flubbed up on this one. Because think about it. He goes and gets he goes and the Kane variance is out there, right? If he's isolated by himself, who is stopping him? What army? Nobody. What Avengers? Nobody, because nobody fools with Loki. And he's just talking about the experience at the end of time. And you say, I made the tough choices. That's why I get in the big chair. You don't get in the big chair because you ain't made no hard choices. And he's like, what are you willing to do? If you're going to save your friends or kill, basically he was mocking him. Are you going to kill the one you love? And to me, he made the ultimate sacrifice. And he didn't even hesitate. He was not going to kill Sylvie at all. Not going to do it. Because again, that was more of part of the plan. Hold up, Gray. You said his He Who Remains from the first finale was more reserved. He's more threatening in this one. Yes, he's very much threatening in this one. So he ends up back. And again, this is why I like this show. Because they literally get you all the way back before they jump you back forward again. So he is back when they had that in that theater room in season 1, episode 1, when they first not pruned them, but they first got him in the TVA, and him and Morbius is having their first conversation, and I really like this scene a lot. This is one of my favorite. This right here was one of my favorite scenes. The dialogue, the acting, everything was great. And then he started telling him what he was gonna tell him. His I have responsibility, and he's just giving out the propaganda jargon. That's all he was doing, was giving out the propaganda jargon. And sometimes we do that. We start not want to deal with ourselves. We start just listening to propaganda jargon because it makes us feel good, or that's all we know. So he starts talking about, when there was a guy who was out on patrol, and they were supposed to get this 8-year-old kid. And the reason why they were supposed to get the 8-year-old kid because he caused like 5,000 deaths, and and he needed to be pruned, and one of the hunters didn't do it. And of course, we find out that hunter is him, but the one who did do it was Ravonna Renslayer. Very good scene. Very good scene. And this is probably why he's better as an analyst than somebody on the how can I say, in the hot seat, in the hotbed. Now, mind you, they're having their conversation, and he starts to admit to certain things. Like, again, he's been through this, so he's starting to question now, and he says, "Thank you, Morbius." And he gets up to shake his hand. And then once I can't do it too long. Once he shakes his hand, he becomes the spaghetti monster. Thank you. You're now being unraveled. Because they're wiping away this universe. This universe is unraveling before their eyes. And again, he's going back in time. And he told Sylvie in this scene, like, yo, we're outside of time and space. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to do, but we're outside of time and space. Which is dope that he has that ability. All right, and he's explaining everything to Sylvie and how she might have to die, to try to save everything. And you know, is suggesting, you have to try everything. She lived on those planets that was actually died before, Loki even got there. All right, so get to this part. Let me stop. So let me see. Sorry about that. So he starts to get an epiphany that I can change everything. I could change everything. I don't have to have he who remains. I don't have to go back to the throne of he who remains because I actually have a plan. If I can be able to save the TVA, I'm going to have to sacrifice myself. So I'm not gonna lie. This part kind of got me in the feels a little bit. And I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, I ain't cried because I'm, I'm a gangster around here, G thing. But but it got me in the feels because of the acting and this is like a stage play to me. It reminds me of a stage play, dinner theater. You know what I mean? Whatever happened to breakfast theater? They don't do that. But he goes out there because he knows that he's the only one who can make that play. And again, this is a character change because, again, the original character of Loki was more concerned about himself. Now we see Loki in a totally different light. And the reason why he only thought about himself is because I feel like, that Odin and even Frigga to a certain extent did treat that man like he was his own son. He didn't care. He was like, I'm doing dude a favor. So what do you think is gonna happen when you do stuff like that? So Loki gets out here, and this was the one of this badass scene. Now this is a badass scene because I was reading, when War of the Realms came out, and I was flipping through my through War of the Realms, and I was like, this Loki looks like Tom. The way that they drew it looks like Tom Holland. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm saying Tom Hiddleston, not Tom Holland. Tom Hiddleston. It looks like Tom Hiddleston, and I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. You know what I mean? And this is all. This has a couple players from the comics. So this is when Loki uses magic. You know what I'm saying, to be able to open the doors. And again, we really haven't seen Mackie. We haven't seen Loki use his powers like in this extent, you know what I mean, in a while. So this was actually really cool to see. You know what I'm saying? And again, the comic book accuracy. We know that it's connected to several movies. It's like, man, I might not be able to touch it, but he went out and touched it anyway. So he starts to get the branches, and when he starts to get the branches turn green. Now, this was an observation when I was watching it, and then it was kind of confirmed that the green energy that Loki produces, so now that he could time slip in and out of time, is damn near close to the Infinity Stone. Like, dude is a walking Infinity Stone right now because he could go in and out of through space and time. And with that green energy, I wonder if was that the reason for, that represented real time because, hey, you got this man time skipping, moonwalking, you know what I'm saying, and all of that on here. And a little bit he looked like Kid Loki too. And I'm thinking because, when they get up to this point, he's on his crown, and I was thinking to myself, like, how the hell he's gonna weave all this together? Well, he used this magic to weave all of these timelines together. And this was badass because, again, the whole thing in the Thor movies was, in the first Thor movie especially, was he wanted to be king. And then Thor was like, who controls the would-be king? I am a king. Now he gets to be the king of the actual multiverse. And what he did was stabilize the temporal cure. So now this scene looks more or less like if you look at this, of course, it's a tree. I had to stop it. I'm gonna pause it again once I get back in frame. Now, this is now the multiverse tree. It's gonna just walk past me like that. Hold on. So this is the tree for the multiverse. Just if you know about Norse mythology, doesn't this look like the world tree? Matter of fact, if you go back to Thor 1, there was a tree that was like this that hold Midgard, Asgard, and all these other places together. That looks like it. So now those branches, you know what I'm saying, are literally a part of the MCU now. What's going on, Pam? Glad I caught your video. Thank you. As a casual watcher, I was confused about the ending. Who did Loki become? The character development of Loki was great. I just watched, I'm not even gonna hold you. I watched Comics Explained because it was like, oh, Loki is the god of stories, which is from the recent comics. He, according to Rob from Comics Explained, he basically is the wielder. He's basically the manager of the multiverse. I can't think of the guy's name, but he's a green guy with this big long oblong shaped head. But he basically holds the universe together. Well, you got like the living tribunal, the one above all, eternity. It's eternity is one above all is the living tribunal, eternity. It's a bunch of them, but basically, he fits now as a god that is control that actually holds the multiverse together. I just can't think of his name. Offhand, I can't think of his name. And now it's let's grow together, nurture for a stable future. That's what this is called. Now they like, now they're environmentalists. All right. So the TVA is working now. We seen last time, if you look here, look on the screen, you now see the flow of time going upwards in a tree. And I always felt like that when I seen the shape, when we went to episode 5 and we got with OB and we seen the shape that looked like that tree that was in this house. That's what it looked like. And to me, this is exactly what represents that Ouroboros. Everything is coming forward. Everything is coming full circle. Now, they even try to reconstruct Miss Minutes, but, it looked like she wants to be in the TVA too. Why wouldn't it change? And then Mobius is I feel bad for Mobius. Because him and Loki became really good friends. And to me, he was the only person that kind of understood Loki, or Loki understood him. Of course, like I said, you got Hunter B-15, but nobody understood Loki like him. And now he got curious about what does my life look like on the sacred timeline. Hold on. Let me go back. Threat identification. If you look on screen, I'm glad I got this. This is perfect. This is a shot. If you look here, that is a shot from Kang. Matter of fact, that's the Kang for Multiverse of Madness. I think they're retconning that came from Multiverse of Madness. You know why? Yeah, they did reboot Miss Minutes. I'm going to tell you why. Why I believe they're retconning this, and they put it in this show to retcon after the backlash of that show or of that movie. Number one, because they said this is a 616 adjacent realm. So it's like the 616. Remember, the quantum realm it's outside of time and space. Even the multiverse, it's outside of everything. You know what I mean? And I believe the quantum realm, the way the quantum realm set up, you can have people travel throughout the multiverse through the quantum realm, not just space and time, but universes in the quantum realm. So that Kang, if you look, even his time, even the time machine they blew up where he got sucked in at, that's that. That is that. And there's like, this is an adjacent version of Kang the Conqueror. So again, if it's like the 616, but it's not the 616, it's not the 616 or 1999 99, I guess. I don't know. To me, the Marvel comic should be 616. But anyway. Listen, your file is requested, variant case file. He went to go look for himself. And they wanted to keep all the statues up of the Kang stuff or whatever to never forget about the past. While while we're here. And he was like, man, if you need a seat on the table, I got you, bro. You need a seat on the council. You say, who's gonna miss a old analyst? Who's gonna miss me? I would. Owen Wilson. I would. All right. No, I skipped. He wouldn't let him leave either. And again, he is looking for what he's been itching about the whole entire time. What am I? And then now you have, a successful, well balanced, well managed. I mean, it's too many people in that little ass thing, but you got more people in there that is, ready and available for what the TVA needs. And Ouroboros went ahead and wrote new books. The new TVA hand guide is now this brightly colored yellow with the red. He never gave. Now, this is the biggest thing. They never gave Victor Timely, who's on the Sacred Timeline, that book. He never did. So he never came to TVA. Didn't amount to anything. Sorry to say that. That sounds kind of harsh, but he really didn't. He didn't amount to anything as far as like all the stuff that he was going to do in the future. Now we pick up a Ravonna Renslayer, and she's in the void. Now, is this the end of this character? Probably not. Probably not this version of the character. But we find out that that's a oops. Sorry. Let me go back. Because when the dust moves, they find out that's the TVA. The TVA got pruned too. Or a version of the TVA got pruned. And then you hear Elias coming. And she doesn't look afraid of Elias. Like, man, you know what? About to slap somebody. But Mobius is over here playing with the kids. You see, which is Don in this universe, and you see, Mobius looking at what his life would be on the Sacred Timeline. All right, give me a second. And now he's having a conversation with Sylvie. Sylvie was like, yo, did you do you think, it feels weird not having Loki here? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? They're asking each other, what are you gonna do? He's gonna sit there for a while. What you gonna do? And she was like, I don't know. I'm just do my thing. Yeah, this is Owen Wilson's best work in a long time. In a long time. Where you just like, man, I'm enjoying the ride that he gave me. And he just sat up there looking outside of his yard. You know what I mean? But this scene was cool because you get to see, in there that there's life on these planets now. Because there's some of that aura is on there. All right, so Loki is sitting on his throne. He gives a little bit of a smirk because he know he did the right thing. And now he's actually, now this is his glorious purpose. I'm burdened with glorious purpose. There it is. He's sitting on a throne. He's in charge of the whole entire multiverse. That's what's he in charge of, the whole entire multiverse. And then they played a theme song and they did a dope rendition of that, of the theme song. And I believe that's the end of the episode. I don't think there was anything else in this episode. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I think this is the end credits. There was no post-credit scene. They rebooted Miss Minute. She ain't out here trying to be a psychopath, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? If as she would have helped reboot Ultron, wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. But yeah, so that is the review of Loki episode 6 of season 2. I mean, when I watched this, I was like, there was really good parts. I was glued. I was a little confused at the end because I was trying to figure it out, and I was watching it early in the morning and was trying to get it together. You know what I mean? But I kind of understood what they were doing, because he is now the god of the multiverse. And again, like some of you guys said, this is Owen Wilson's best work. Tom Hiddleston was amazing. Was amazing in this show. Was amazing. And to me, this is the best show that's on Disney Plus, point blank, period. I know people will say WandaVision. Some people might say Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know what I'm saying? Or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. This here, to me, was the best writing on the show. And a lot of in-depth and heart and all of that. So I enjoy myself. I enjoy watching this. This was awesome. Again, I don't the next thing that comes out, as far as like invisible episodes, you want me to do invisible episodes, I'm probably going to wait to the end of the season to do it, because sometimes when I don't do something, I don't know if this is just the algorithm or you guys just you just don't want to watch it. But anything that's not Marvel that I'm talking about, like I started doing Chucky, and the algorithm was an algorithm, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to do something. I just do a recap at the end of the season and do a video on that. She drives me. What's up? What up, Dre Mac? I like this season definitely better than the first. This is some of the best stuff that Marvel has done, and that's why don't fall into that variety. They're falling apart. They're dying. Don't fall into that shit, because it's proven that they got something, and if they continue to cultivate this and make better writing, because all it legitimately, I'm being real with you, the problem with Marvel was not the actors, it was bad writing, and not connecting the universes together, bad decision making by not recasting somebody and not recasting William Hurt but not recasting T'Challa. That'll hurt you. Ain't nobody gonna watch you. What's going on, unapologetic simmer? Some people are not gonna watch you when they got their heart and mind set on something. You disappoint them, and then you come out with lackluster stuff, and then, like you saying, you had executives that was just trying to burn through IPs and after IPs and casting people that didn't fit. Yaya is Wonder Man. Come on, dude, you could have got that to anybody, like a white guy, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So to be able to come full circle on this show was amazing. That's what needs to go forward with the MCU. Really good storytelling, and we can go from there. But what did you guys think about the episode, especially if you watched this on a replay? If you came to this part of the video, thank you so very much for sitting around and watching. Again, don't forget to like the video. Get the likes up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. enjoy you guys this weekend. I have the Marvels video coming out later on today. But where is my outro at? I gotta get up out of here. Ooh, sleepy. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and Bob Hire, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.